Welcome to Face Forward, the podcast, the series that takes you behind the scenes of the riveting world of clinical trial management. I am your host, Valerie Coveney, and I am thrilled to be your guide on this journey through the nuances of planning, executing, and navigating the clinical research landscape. So today's guest is Hubert, president of the Polish Atopic Disease Association, PTCA. Hubert is a passionate advocate for patient-centered care and the founder of PTCA and its support groups for families affected by atopic conditions. With a background in economics and an MBA in international trade, he brings strategic insight to patient advocacy. He is also a pioneer of wet wrap therapy in Poland, helping thousands of patients live more comfortably. Today's episode explores PTCA's review of consent forms, Poland's new law requiring patient voices in ethic committees, and finally, trust building between sponsors and patient groups. So welcome to the podcast, Hubert.
Hello, everybody. Hubert Godziątkowski from Poland here. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. We're very happy to have you. So what can you share with our audience regarding PTCA? What can you tell us about the organization?
I think the first one important thing is that here in Poland, we have almost 800,000 patients with atopic dermatitis. And what we are doing here, of course, we support patients with atopic diseases and allergies too, and their families across all the country. We offer the full range of activities like education, peer support, advocacy, of course, everything for better care standards here in Poland. PTCA became involved in clinical trials through its work on patient education, of course, and about ethical oversight, especially on the document called ICF. It means informed consent forms, and some extra documents like, for example, clinical trial recruitment materials.
Excellent. And what initially led PTCA to start reviewing these ICFs? And was there a trigger point?
First of all, what is very important, we as a patient advocates or patient representatives, we had to possess a full knowledge of clinical trial. It's not easy, as we know, everybody. From my side, I have been graduated by EUPATI to better understand whole drug cycle. I think it's a cycle starting from single molecule idea through the HDA process till the market access for single drug. And we as organization or as the patient representatives, what we noticed. Of course, the patient often reported confusion or and anxiety about trial participation. What's more, sometimes happen that not all real patients' costs are fully covered with the documentation and the protocol. And what else? Of course, we saw an opportunity to bridge this gap between medical language, this medical jargon, and patient understanding of all documents. I'm thinking about this ICFs and this recruitment materials. And then our organization began collaborating with national ethics committees and, of course, with the sponsors to improve clarity and accessibility of clinical trials to the patients.
Mm-hmm. And from your experience, what are some common areas where sponsors miss the mark with ICFs?
Oh, I think that the overuse of technical or medical jargon, all the legal terms, all the things about the databases, about the biobanks, it's not so easy to understand to the average reader. Sometimes there is a lack of clear explanation about the benefits, about the risk, and other procedures related to the clinical trial. In my opinion, sometimes there is not so much clear explanation of randomization. It makes a misunderstanding too. All the things connected to placebo. From our side, as a patient representatives, from our perspective, the most important thing is, I would say, the possibility to continue treatment by patients in case when the clinical trial has ended. I think it's crucial. Sometimes it happens that as a clinical trial ends, and there is no any access to this investigational products,
Yes, yes, yes.
and some of ethical or good sponsors gives the opportunity to prolong this treatment, even if the clinical trial is closed.
I understand. And what are some of the key benefits of working with advocacy groups such as PTCA?
In my opinion, we have three most important areas in this case. The first of all is, of course, better alignment with patient needs and expectation. Okay, we have, a lot of unmet needs and expectation. And what is very important, the trust and the transparency. I'm talking about this, all the recruitment efforts should increase in this case. And it's very important because if you are talking on the social media, for example, and if you can check this kind of paid advertisement
Yes.
made by sponsors or CROs talking about the clinical trial, the average knowledge about these clinical trials in the society isn't so big. That's why we can met a lot of difference. Communication goes from the patient representatives. I think it's a better transparency and the patient trust. If they trust to the organization, that they can trust to this all the communication did by this organization.
Yes. Okay. And what's preventing patient groups and sponsors from working more closely together, in your opinion?
I think that's money, of course. It means that always we meet the limited funding, and sometimes just lack of time constraints. As I said, lack of formal training is very important, and I think the next barrier is understanding between different organizations. Last but not least, if we are talking about the global collaboration, I think the still language barrier exists.
It's a common issue, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Hubert, as we kind of touched on, trust between sponsors and patient organizations takes time. From PTCA's experience, what are some of the key ingredients for building a strong partnership?
What is important for me is, of course, transparency in communication, and transparency in expectation from both sides is very important. We are asking for early involvement in trial planning, not just to be a part of this, review stages.
Yes.
I think earlier better. And of course, we expect the respect for our organization, from our time, for our expertise, and other limitation, which about I told earlier.
Yes, exactly. Okay, and finally, on to our last question for today. What does a truly strategic collaboration look like between a sponsor and a patient group? What would be the ideal situation for you?
I think that good collaboration, it means that we as a patient organization are contributing to the protocol design as early as
Yes.
possible. We should attend in all these recruitment strategies. We have some programs prepared by sponsors. For example, because of lack of training, yes, we said earlier, the sponsors can help us to go for the higher level of the knowledge, of the competences. And we should have a shared goals around patient safety, comprehension, and trial accessibility. It's very important. And I would say, I think the relation between the sponsor and advocacy groups should rather be a kind of partnership, not a transactional cooperation.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Stuart. I feel like we've covered some ground today. I really feel like we showed the perspective of PTCA and at least shown some light on your realities and how this might impact the industry. So thank you so much for being part of this episode, Hubert.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the possibility to spread up our patient voice around the world.
As we conclude another illuminating episode of Face Forward, we find ourselves at the crossroads of science and progress. Remember that behind the jargon and statistics lie stories of unwavering commitment, meticulous observation, and the pursuit of evidence that shapes our understanding of health and disease. Stay at the forefront of knowledge and innovation and follow Face Forward on your preferred platform. My name is Valerie Kovney. Thank you for joining us. Until next time.